Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. About an hour ago, we did have the official reveal for the part 2 units of this year's Worldwide, of course, being DOKKANFEST INT LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly and Carnival LR Strength Super Saiyan Gohan. Now, I've already reacted to their kits very briefly, but mainly their animations in that video, so if you want to go check that out, I will pin it down in the comments. For this one, we're going to go in a bit more in depth with their kits, their passive, things like that, and then for the animations, I'll let them play out at the end of the video for you. So starting off with this video, as you can tell by the title, we're going through the DOKKANFEST Broly's kits and animations, and he will have a sideband of Videl with him as well. So she starts to turn off with attack and defense plus 200%, gains an additional attack and defense plus 200% when performing a super attack, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to tech key spheres, 30% chance to dodge, Dragon Ball Seekers or Earthbred Fighter category allows will gain key plus 2, attack and defense plus 40%. Then she gains an additional key plus 2 when the character is the second to obtain key spheres in the turn, and an additional attack and defense plus 20% when the character is the third to obtain key spheres in a turn, reduces damage received by 20% of each attack performed up to 40%, so only 2 attacks needed for that. As the second attacker in a turn, chance of evading enemies' attack plus 20% with each attack performed up to 40% as the third attacker in a turn, which actually takes her up to a full 70% chance to dodge. Now, of course, Videl wasn't shown in the reveal. However, for a sideband unit, she looks okay. She looks solid. You know, she has the Dragon Ball Seeker support, Earthbred Fighter support, which of course she's going to be able to give to the new Carnival LR Gohan. And then she gets up to an extra 40% chance to dodge on top of the 30 she has with each attack performed as the third attacker. And then you go a full dodge build. She's okay. She's okay. Her link skills are Int Fighter, Cold Judgment, Courage, Battlefield Diva, Champion Strength, Money, 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 Fierce Battle. She goes on Dragon Ball Seekers, Earthbred Fighters, Peppy Girls, Movie Heroes, Earthlings, Defender of Justice, Bond of Parent and Child, and on Super Attack, she is raising attack and defense by 30%, causing supreme damage to the enemy, and greatly lowering attack with a 50% chance of further greatly lowering attack as well. Now, the main reason why we're here on this video is, of course, the DOKKANFEST INT LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. One thing I noticed straight away that was gonna be an issue if they went down Legendary Super Saiyan Broly being the part 2 headliner was the same naming issue. Now, it's not too bad because the Carnival LR Broly is just called Broly. The Tech LR, who just got an Easy A today, starts off as a Super Saiyan Broly. The BS Broly is a Super Saiyan Broly that transforms, so he links to all 3 of those units. The only one he doesn't actually link to is the Easy A INT Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, which for the most part I'm thinking, does that really matter? Considering he's good and he can be good, but he's very situational on how good he can be. So for the most part, you could probably not have him on the team, or you might not just have him. Or it depends who's going in slot 1, slot 2, and how you're setting your rotations up, that you could actually get away with it, just because only 2 units actually share the same name. But carrying on, he does lead Uncontrollable Power, Revenge, or Planetary Destruction with the key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 170, which these 2 leads is a 170 already. Very nice. Planetary Destruction has had constant buffs throughout the celebration with the new Carnival LR Broly, now this Broly, also now leads Planetary Destruction, the Easy A's from the Tech LR to the INT. Then on top of that, there's Easy A Team Turles who benefit from Planetary Destruction units, giving him the damage reduction. So very nice that he leads this, and then that also includes another DOKKANFEST LR Broly friend you could run if you run dual leads, then also applies to Turles' damage reduction. So very nice. Uncontrollable Power as well is a very good category, especially coupled up with movie bosses, even Pure Saiyans and Transformation Boost. You know, you're looking at units like Harudagon, you're looking at Cell Max, you're looking at all the Broly units from this celebration, and then there's more to think of as well. I'm pretty sure Margin Vegeta will go in there, etc, etc. His leader skill is actually pretty good and is pretty strong, so I'm a big fan of that. But then we have a whole book worth of text for his passive, Activate the entrance animation upon the character's entry, and extreme class allies will have defense plus 40% for 4 turns from the character's entry turn. So he will give out support. Don't forget, you can couple that with the support that already fluxes that team. Like, that team is just influxed with a ton of support. So if you're running, for example, maybe not this Broly's 200% lead, but maybe you're running Carnival or Broly's 200% lead, which is movie bosses, which is the better place to do this. You then have this Broly coming in with 40% defense for extreme class allies, which that team is filled up with. Broly, Chila, and Lemo's support. Team Turles' support. And then eventually there'll be a domain coming from this Broly and also the 9th anniversary Broly. And the good thing about this Broly is you can use his domain as soon as. So since you can do that, it won't clash with the 9th anniversary Broly's domain. So by the time you're ready to use 9th anniversary Broly's domain, this one's would have already have passed. So he starts to turn off as well with attack and defense plus 260% and reduces damage received by 60% as well. So just flat 60% damage reduction, which is great. Plus an additional attack plus 100% when attacking, plus an additional key plus 2 and recovers 2% HP per type key sphere attained. It's not a lot, but when you start stacking up key spheres, it can help out a bit, especially at conserving items. Also, while the domain Molten Lava, and I always forget if it's Natad or Natade Village or Natade Village is active, you'll randomly change key spheres of a certain type to strength key spheres at the start of character's attack in turn and guards all attacks. And then on top of that, you have 60% damage reduction and guard. 60% damage reduction and guard. Not only is it going to be very strong, not only is it going to be very easy to link, not only does he have a domain, not only does he have some support upon his entrance animation, but he's also defensively padded out. So you could probably run him in slot 1 while the domain's active, the Carnival R Broly in slot 2, and in that way you can keep him out the way of linking with Int Broly. That's one way you could do it. But carrying on, attacks are effective against all types for the rest of battle when the character performs an attack while the domain is active. Starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn, revives with 60% HP recovered when the character and ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd, which I really do like that. Don't get me wrong, absolutely love DOKKANFEST Fat Boo to bits, but the fact that he has to be the one to get the revival, he has to be the character to get KO'd, sometimes can be a little bit frustrating. I mean, you can play the rotation around that. However, it can be a little bit annoying and it can't always play out exactly the way you want it to. So the fact that Broly has the revival condition of anyone can die on the rotation, love that. And just to add a bit extra into him already doing good damage, good defensively, domains, some support, he also has a revival. So honestly, uncontrollable power, planetary destruction, but movie bosses especially, is getting a major buff and has had a major facelift from this celebration. Also, he'll gain an additional defense plus 60% when receiving an attack after the character's or an ally's revival skill is activated. Changes Fizz key spheres to Ink key spheres, and uncontrollable power category allies attack and defense plus 60% at the start of character's attacking turn, starting from the turn in which the character's revival skill is activated. So once you trigger his revival and Broly's back on rotation, or the next turn comes about and Broly's there, uncontrollable power category allies are getting attack and defense plus 60%. That's some chunky support. Sure, he's not giving out key, but think about some of the units that are being buffed from that support. Again, you're looking at Carnival LR Broly, Tech Easy 8 LR Broly, the Int one who needs a bit more help, DBS Broly. Like, it's kind of crazy. I mean, and even then on top of that, you have Cell Max, etc., etc. But mainly the Broly units are already very, very strong. Small asterisks by the Int Broly. But then you have even more support going through the category while still having Broly, Chila, and Lemo's support, Team Turles' support, where they're also dishing it out. And you can have this on the same rotation because you're going to have this guy on main rotation. If you're running 2, you're going to have to friend one on the other one. So you're going to have constant support, 2 sets of support, while a domain is active, just flowing through this team. It's generally insane. His link set is same warrior race, prepared for battle, shocking speed, Super Saiyan Berserker, fierce battle, legendary power. Again, so easy to link in with the already existing Broly units. His active skill conditions can be activated when there is a Goku's family category enemy, which is fine. This whole Supreme Magnificent battle and even other further Supreme Magnificent battles have Goku's family enemies, or primarily just Goku's. Or when all the allies attacking in the same turn are uncontrollable power category enemies, category characters, which is very easy to do if you're literally running his lead, but even then, most of the units that you're going to be running with this guy belong to that category. So his active skill conditions are very good. When you use his active skill, you'll massively raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage to the enemy, and then that's when you'll create the domain, Molten Lava, and Natade Village for only 3 turns. This is what I mean. This is why his domain is so good, because you can literally activate it immediately, primarily because of this part of the condition here with the uncontrollable category characters. And then again, this is why it doesn't clash with DBS Broly's domain, because once it's done after 3 turns, the following turn, if DBS Broly's on main rotation, is when you'll be able to use his. Or is it turn 5? I can't remember if it's turn 4 or turn 5, but they won't clash, which is a major, major W. And then Broly goes on uncontrollable power, revenge, planetary destruction, movie bosses, transformation boost, pure Saiyans, resurrected warriors, full power, target Goku, exploding rage, inhuman deeds, legendary existence, power beyond a Super Saiyan, and powerful comeback. Then on 12 key, he's going to massively raise attack and defense by 100% for 1 turn, with a 50% chance of further raising defense for 1 turn as well. So that basically means for 1 turn, you're guaranteed to have 100% on 12 key. And then you have a 50% chance, a coin flip chance of you getting an extra, I'm guessing that's 30%, because they would have specified if it wasn't, an extra 30% for 1 turn on top of that, which I think is nuts, and causes cross damage with a 50% chance of stunning. Then his 18 key super is pretty much the exact same thing. So if you hit an additional super with Broly, that is 2 100% attack and defense raises, with the whole 50% chance for a further 30% defense. And then on 18 key, it's actually a further raise of 30% attack. So if you hit an additional with this man, you're getting a ton of extra attack and defense on top of the stats he's already getting. But don't forget about the guard and the 60% damage reduction in his passive. So there it is right there, the 18 key effect. Massive raise attack and defense by 100% for 1 turn, with a 50% chance of massively raising attack for 1 turn. Okay, yeah, so this one's an extra 100% attack. This is what I mean. Absolute monster defensively and offensively. Causes Megaloss damage with a 70% chance to stun. The domain effect is uncontrollable power category enemies and allies attack and defense plus 15%. Increased damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 15%. Then an additional 10% for characters who also belong to the movie heroes category, which means that worldwide Supreme Magnificent battle we got going on that's filled with all the movie hero enemies and Goku enemies, they are going to get absolutely steamrolled by all of these Broly units on one team, especially with that domain active. But overall, Broly looks insane. The setup we already have with all the Broly units is already stupid good. So I can't wait for this guy to come out and it get even better. And I definitely want to pull this unit when he drops. I think that's obvious. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm going to dip out now. I'm going to let the animations play out for those of you who haven't seen them already. So take care, guys. Have a good rest of your day. And peace.